This conference will now be recorded.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to meeting with ACABOR of January 21st, 2021. Shirley, could you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll do a quick roll call of the first, so some ground rules. We will mute everybody throughout the meeting. The applicant, when they're speaking, will be able to have the floor. As once the applicant is completed kind of giving their overview of the project, we'll open up to the board for questions. As for those of you from in the public who may be here to comment, just a reminder, this board is here for appearance, aesthetics, and things like that. Other boards cover other topics of the application. I think we've got a short night tonight, so I don't think we'll go that late. Once we do get the public comment, after the board has spoken and the applicant has given a description of the project, we'll open up for public comment. Generally, I would ask if somebody wants to put a message in the chat just indicating they have something to say. That would be fantastic. If not, we will unmute folks. And you may need to unmute yourself, but you can speak up then. So before we start our first application, we'll just do a quick attendance. Myself, Chris Dunnigan here. Shirley.
Here.
Sharon.
Here.
Kenyatta.
Here.
Debbie. Go mute, Debbie.
Here.
Thank you. Joe.
Here.
And Brian.
Here.
All right. Awesome. All right. Let's start with our first application for the night. Griffin site plan amendment. Mr. Griffin, go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, members of the board. I am here just for an amendment to the previously approved decision by this board. There were a few changes that we made in the field when this was being built. Notably, the two that are off the decision are the air conditioning condenser was originally supposed to be placed on the southeast corner of the home. In practice, it was placed on the northeast corner. It gave it better privacy, and it was an easier run for both mechanical and electrical. The second one was that the originally proposed house showed black shutters on the front, and we opted to go with no shutters at all. Other than that, there's a couple sets of plans there. The original plan, the original architecture shows a smaller size deck. Then there's an attached second drawing done of a larger deck, but all the materials that were stated before this board were used. It's just the size and the location that were modified. And the same goes for the retaining walls that were shown originally. The shape and the location changed slightly, but all the same materials were used.
And the deck sizing, how much bigger or smaller was it than original?
It's significant. It stayed within the boundaries that it needed to, not requiring any additional variances. But it was significant. The original proposed deck. Oh, I shouldn't say that. It's not that much bigger than the first version of the plan. It's really just the stair location, and it might have been a few square feet larger than originally shown.
Okay. All right. Open up to the board for any questions, comments. Shirley?
Yes, since this was originally approved in September 2017, I'm wondering how long the plants were put in around the air conditioning unit. How long ago?
They were installed almost immediately upon completion.
So what we're looking at in the picture is 3 years of the plants.
Yeah, just about. I would say it was the springtime of 2018. So it'd be maybe 2.5 years from the time of that picture.
They must have been very small when they went in because they're not above the air conditioner yet after 2.5 years.
Yes, they were small, and that's also a very large. It's a very large air conditioning condenser. It's one condenser running the whole house, so it is oversized compared to other ones that I've seen and used.
Right. Well, I have a big one at my house too, so I understand that.
Mhm.
It just seems like they should have been a little bigger, but as long as they're going to continue to grow and are well fed, they should be all right.
Yeah, there is a sprinkler system on all flower beds, and they have seen some growth. They did start out pretty small, but I have noticed that since the sprinkler system went in last spring, all the plants on the whole property have grown.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sharon?
No questions. Thank you.
Kenyatta?
No questions.
Debbie?
No questions.
Joe?
No questions. I saw the house. I think it looks okay.
And Brian?
No questions.
We'll open up for public comment. Do a quick unmute. If anybody from the public is wishing to speak on this application, please speak out. You may need to unmute yourself. Seeing none, hearing none, public portion is closed. All right. Is there a motion to approve the changes as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, and that was Sharon. I will second.
I'll second that. Joe.
Joe can second. That's fine. And let's do a quick roll call vote. Myself, yes. Shirley?
Yes.
Sharon?
Yes.
Kenyatta?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
And Brian?
Yes.
All right, you're all set. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yep, have a great night.
Next up for the evening is the Rockland County Club deck plan. Who will be speaking on that one? You might have to unmute yourself.
Hello, my name is Frank Marino. I guess I'll be speaking. I believe the architect was going to be on, but I don't see him.
Okay, go ahead. Walk us through what you've got.
We're proposing to add a deck at the Rockland County Country Club for the grill room. The deck is going to be approximately 19 by 20.
So give us a little bit more detail on existing railings, existing decking material, colors, stonework, anything like that.
Okay. We'll start from the foundation. The pillars are going to match the existing stonework that's there. I think you have pictures of them. The railing is going to be a steel railing, aluminum coating.
On the stonework, just on the stonework quickly. So, do you have a manufacturer or style that's called?
No, we're just going to match what's existing. I don't have that information right now.
Okay, so just for the record, what's existing is a grayish black stone, right?
Correct.
Okay, square shaped, various sizes.
Yes.
Okay, all right, perfect. Thank you. Go ahead, keep going.
Okay. Then we're gonna have the steel railings to match the existing color and shape. I think you have a picture of that, right?
Yep.
Okay. The deck is gonna have a steel frame, and then the deck color is gonna be a Trex material, and it's gonna be like a gray or a natural color, concrete color.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what else you need then, Chris.
Any landscaping going around this? Anything other than the deck?
No, the actual landscaping, there was 2 trees there that were going to be not small trees, crepe myrtles. They're going to be removed so we can put the deck there. But there's a fence around the property because then there's a pool. So there's not much landscaping going on. It's really everything on top for the grill room and exterior seating.
All right. If there's anything else you want to add, I'll open up to the board for some questions and comments.
I don't think so.
Okay. Shirley, any questions, comments?
No.
Sharon?
No, so I'm assuming it's going to be like the deck in the back right now that you guys renovated a few years ago?
I believe so. I didn't get involved with that renovation, but it's going to match the existing style.
Okay. That's it.
Kenyatta?
No questions.
Debbie?
No questions.
Okay. Joe?
No questions.
Brian?
No, I see it's a steel and wood deck, right? Steel and wood support structure, wood joist.
Yeah. Wooden joist, yes.
And you know, or you probably don't know how is that steel being protected
How's it being protected?
from the weather?
I don't have that information.
Right. Because that's obviously going to impact the life of the steel and also the visual in terms of deterioration.
I mean, we could wrap it. We could, put a anti-rust paint on it. A few options on it there.
Yeah, sure. I mean, galvanized would be the best approach. It's a pricey approach.
Yeah.
If I were designing this, and putting steel outside like this, I would galvanize it because nothing else.
Maintain it, right, Brian? Every few years, paint it.
You can, but it's hard to paint the top of steel beams that are set right under wood deck.
Yeah.
And any point you miss on the steel is going to corrode.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to look it's not going to look great fairly quickly. The posts, and you have steel posts, they could be painted underneath because they sit clear of the thing.
Right.
And the portion that sits under the stair and treads is also going to be hard to maintain. You really can't get the top of it. So the railing is a steel painted railing, or it's an aluminum railing? It's aluminum railing.
Aluminum.
Right. Yeah. Because that's easy to paint. It's all exposed.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's just that is just a suggestion I would make.
I'll discuss it with the architect.
Yeah.
Attention.
You're putting this in for the long term, I assume, and
Yes.
it looks like the other deck is completely enclosed, wrapped in some kind of ethos, cementitious coating. So the deck around the main building in the photos is fully enclosed. The structure of it. That's my comment.
So that's something, it sounds like, we should maybe put as a condition either, galvanized or fully, primed, painted, which it looks like on the plans, it calls for any steel members, not in, where to go? Not encased in concrete or spray fireproof to be primed and painted. So is that cover your concern, Brian?
No, I mean, I was sure they would paint it. You wouldn't leave the steel even primed unpainted when it goes in, because it also wants to be finished in look and protection. I would not, except for steel, it's very simple and easy to monitor and paint and trim. I would not rely on steel. I would not rely on paint myself for something so significant and in terms of cost and use and
Makes
life.
sense.
I mean, good galvanized. You see things that are well galvanized.
Forever.
60 years on, they're not corroded at all. Anyway,
so that's something you guys will look at to see.
recommendation. It would be a recommendation. It's, they can paint it and say that we'll maintain the paint, and they'll do that the best they can.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'll open up for public comment. Is there anybody from the public wishing to speak on this application? If so, please unmute yourself. Seeing none, hearing none, public portion is closed. All right. So it sounds like just a recommendation to go with galvanized if you can to prevent the corrosion. Is there a motion to approve as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
A second?
I'll second.
And Shirley second. I'll do a quick roll call vote. Myself, yes. Shirley?
Yes.
Sharon?
Yes.
Miata?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
All right. You guys are all set. Good luck with the deck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. We done? We sign off now?
Yep, you're all set.
Okay, thank you.
So the next thing we had on the agenda is just an executive session between the board. There's a separate Meet link for that.
Unmuted.
Matt, I'm going to ask you, how best do we execute that? Okay, that's fine. For the exec session, do we leave the recording on, or do we turn that off? I assume off. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording.